Hi class, today we are in Saxon Math, Book 4, Lesson 46, and we're going to talk about how multiplication and division are related to each other. So this is very, very similar to how addition and subtraction are related to each other. If we say 4 plus 2 is 6, we can take away one of those add-ins and say 4 plus blank equals 6. Then you would use subtraction to undo the problem, and you would say 6 minus 4 equals 2 to figure out that missing addend. So let's take a look at a multiplication problem. Here we're missing one of the factors. In multiplication, it's factor times factor equals product. Well, if I take away one of the factors, I'm saying 4 times what equals 12. Well, one way I can solve that is by using a division problem to undo the multiplication. I would take my product, 12, and say 12 divided by 4, this factor, equals, well, I know 4 times 3 equals 12, so 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Multiplication and division problems have their own set of fact families, just like addition and subtraction. So for this example, we would have 4 times 3 equals 12. We'd flip them and have 3 times 4 equals 12. Then we can take our big number and say 12 divided by 3 equals 4, and 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So there's a lot of the same patterns here as what we see in the addition and subtraction fact family. Our big number is at the end of a multiplication problem, and it's at the beginning of a division problem. And then we flip-flop our factors here, and we flip-flop them here as well. Okay? So one of the activities that your book wants you to do is use the multiplication table. There's one on page 297. I think there's another one earlier in the book, but I don't remember that page off the top of my head. So you can look at the one on page 297, or if you've got one at home, you can use that also to find answers to division problems. So in this example, if we were trying to do 12 divided by 4, we would go to either the 4 column or the 4 row. So I'm not going to draw a whole oh my, we did something to our board. It's not erasing very nicely. So I'm not going to draw a whole multiplication table for you, but you know how it has the numbers up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and usually it goes the whole way to 10, if not 12. And then down the side, we have the same thing. Well, if we're trying to figure out 12 divided by 4, we could either go to the 4 here or the 4 here, and we would go across to wherever we see a 12. So in this example, this would be 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16. So we'd see a whole bunch of numbers here. It's a multiplication table. You go to your 4, and then you go down to the 12, and you say, oh, 12 and 4, and then we go across, and we would find that 3 is the missing factor, or the answer to the division problem, which is called a quotient. Okay? I do not like whatever happened to my board here. Kind of ugly. So the last example I have for you is a PE class had 18 students. The teacher divided the class into groups of 3. How many groups were there? So we would say 18 divided by 3 equals, so here's where this relationship is really, really helpful. I find that kids learn their multiplication facts a lot easier and a lot quicker than they learn their division facts. So you can use that knowledge of multiplication to help you in your division. If you're like, I don't really know what 18 divided by 3 is, you can flip it to a multiplication problem and say, well, what number times 3 is going to give me 18? Oh, I know that one. That's 6. So if 3 times 6 is 18, then we know that 18 divided by 3 equals 6. All right, I have a couple practice problems for you. These are all division. I'm going to write them up on the board. After I get them on the board, I'd like you to pause and try them on your own, and then hit play and we'll go over the answers together. Okay, here are the problems. All right, so first, this is written a little bit differently. We've talked before about the 3 different ways to write a division problem. We can put the dividend in the house, this little thing, I call it a house, and then the divisor goes here and the quotient, our answer, goes on the top. I can take this same problem, 12 divided by 2, and write it using just 12 divided by symbol 2, or I could take the same problem, 12 divided by 2, and write it like that. That makes it look like a fraction, but really all a fraction is a division problem. So we can use fractions to write division problems. In any case, the answer to 12 divided by 2 is going to be 6. 21 divided by 3. What number times 3 equals 21? 7, correct. 24 divided by 6. What number times 6 equals 24? That would be 4. 32 divided by 4. These tend to be tricky. What number times 4 equals 32? Well, if I don't know this, how could I think of an answer? I could say I know what 4 times 5 is, and that's 20. That's a lot less than 32. So then I could say, oh right, 4 times 6 is 24. That's still less than 32. So then I could figure out, what's 4 times 7? We go from 24 plus 4. That'd be 28. Still less than 32. So what's 4 times 8? That would be 28 plus 4. Oh, that's 32. So 32 divided by 4 is 8. 24 divided by 3. We can use the same strategy. I just figured out that 21 divided by 3 was 7. So that's only 3 more. 1 more group of 3. That must be 8. And 12 divided by 4. 4, 8, 12, 3 groups. There are your answers for today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for you to start your written practice. It begins on page 298 of your textbook. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.